mystery theory. Today, instead of sharing the Alcázar Girls case part 2 video, I will be doing the Q&A. What happened is, I mentioned in that video that I had over 100 pages of research for that case, and the first part is just going through every single article, put them in chronological order, cross out everything that kind of overlaps, and then the final process is basically putting it into a document to share with you guys as a guide for the case. I try not to read from it, but while I am reading it, I am developing of, all the different things that I read about the case. However, last weekend we went for a couple of blinds to Home Depot, and we ended up buying new floors for the house, because that's what you do, right? If you're married and you have a house, you probably know what I mean. You go to Home Depot for a hammer, and you ended up buying new floors that you're going to install yourself, because they make you believe that you can do it. Needless to say, I have all the furniture from one of the bedrooms where we're doing the floors there in my living room. I have clothes all over the place. I have closets, doors that I'm painting in my kitchen. These are not excuses. I'm just sharing with you what's going on. So I will work through part 2 over the weekend, and that will be the next video that I'll share with you guys. So before I start with the questions, I want to thank you who requested this video. I went back about 5 pages in my comments. I wrote down all the questions under your request to do a Q&A, and then forgot to write your name. I know I suck, I'm sorry. If you are watching this video, please leave a comment and say that it was you, so I can thank you. Please. Alright, let's move on to the first question. Why do true crime cases? What does it mean to you? Do you ever find it depressing or deflating, a need to take a break from it? And this question was by Karis, not Jaris. I'm hoping that I'm saying that right. The short answer to that is no, I don't find them depressing or deflating. I don't need to take a break from them, and they do not depress me. They are depressing, but I don't let them get to me that deeply. You want to know something about me? I have a great defense mechanism. I protect my heart like it's made of gold. I create a barrier around things that hurt me. Sometimes in not very healthy ways, I should say. But I'm going to give you an example. I do not have a lot of friends. Not because I am not friendly, but because we can be acquaintances, but we will never be friends if I don't find what I'm looking for in a friend, which is somebody that is honest, somebody that is open, somebody that is uplifting, that they have things that they want to do. If you are the opposite, if you are a nice person but you're always complaining, you're always saying how everything is unfair, how life is miserable, how you can never get that right, I would build a little barrier around my heart whenever I'm close to you. So I would be polite, but I will never let my heart be close to those feelings that are not good for me. That way, I usually, because of that defense mechanism, stay away from people that are not good in my head for me. It's just how I like to protect myself. I feel like if I'm not looking out for myself, my feelings, and how other people influence me, then nobody will. So, as much as I don't let other people affect me, I try to do the same thing with the cases. They are sad. They will give me that sadness while I'm going through them. But at the same time, the reason why I do these cases is because I always learn something from them. It's sad that we have to go through cases this sad to learn something from them. But in my head, you can always learn something. I've learned something from each one of the cases that I've shared in this channel that I did my research on. I'm telling you, each one of them left me with a different perspective on something, and perspective, in my opinion, is everything. If you don't have perspective, you're gonna live in a self-centered bubble. But if you can put yourself in other people's shoes for just 5 minutes and understand their upbringings, their feelings, where they live, who they are, just for 5 minutes, it's going to give you perspective. You're not going to excuse them for what they did, but you are going to gain something that you cannot buy with money. Perspective. And that is one of the things that I'm always trying to find in this life. Just an FYI, I've always been interested in cases, in pretty much everything that has to do with psychologists. I wanted to be a psychologist since I was a little girl. I moved to the States and I thought that I would finish here, that I would, do my career here. But funny and naive 18-year-old me didn't know that you had to pay for college here, and back home it's free. Yeah, not so funny. Anyways, I am not bothered by it. I think that my plan for this life was going to be different, but it's one of my interests, and I'm just sharing this because I've always, let's say, we had a flat tire and we were going in a camping trip. It was my mom, my dad, my grandpa, and my grandma. For people under the same circumstances with the same problem, they all reacted differently. Now, why did I care? Because I didn't understand, and I wanted to understand. How did my grandpa go and grab the tools and started to change the tire without saying a word? My mom got worried that it was too hot, that I was going to get hot inside the car, that we just couldn't stay by the side of the road, that it wasn't safe. My grandma was complaining because we shouldn't have been driving with that hot weather in that hot road. We should have waited until nighttime. And my dad was worried and trying to find a phone so he could find somebody to change the tire. 4 people under the same circumstances, all of them reacting differently. Why? And that's what I always wanted to know. Is it a chemical thing in our brains? Is it because they had different perspectives as women or men? Is it because of their abilities to change a tire or not change a tire? Is it because of how they were raised that somebody else needed to do that for them? Is it because they're not independent enough to realize that if they worked together they could have changed the tire in 2 minutes? You know what I mean? That's me. Weird. I know, I am weird. But I always wonder why people react in different ways under the same circumstances, in the same day, just sharing the same circumstance, how they. So for me, doing these cases is what it gives me, that piece of information that I've always wanted to know, giving me the perspective of different people with different backgrounds, reacting to a problem, whatever the problem is, reacting to that specific problem. And I shared a case where this guy didn't want his parents to know that he was gay and he was doing adult movies, and he decided to kill his parents because of that, so they would never find out. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that have something similar, that are gay, they don't want to tell their parents, but see, not all of them decide to kill their parents for it. So, can you see the perspective? Can you see the what? It doesn't make sense in my mind. So until it makes sense, until I get an answer, until a scientist takes the time to listen to my questions and answer them, then I will have a passion for this. The next question is, and I'm sorry to have forgotten, also perspective on different things. Like she did the Titanic. She recently did a scandal with the Betty Boop, who was the original one that they. And maybe it wasn't recent, but I just watched the video recently. I don't know. Her videos are longer, and I can listen to them while I'm doing something else, and the kids are not home screaming. You should check her out. And then if you don't want to watch to her conspiracy theories or true crime, older vintage kind of cases that she does, she also has magazines, like girls magazines, like makeup and hair. She has a few with hairstyles, and not that I'm gonna change my hairstyle because I'm pretty basic with my hair, but I always love to listen to her talk about products and if they work, if they didn't. Vitamins, she knows a lot about vitamins and stuff. Definitely one of my favorite channels. I also love ASMR Crime by Rennie. I think she's pretty new, but she has a great accent, and I love that she uploads frequently. If you are interested in any of these channels, I will have them in the description box down below. You should check it out. I get tingles with her from the second that she starts talking. Love, love, love her videos. You should check her out as well. She's doing true crime cases. Of course, ASMR Investigation Taylor. I love her channel. I've collaborated with her, and I got a request to do another one, so maybe we'll do another one in the future. But funny story. Taylor had a YouTube channel before. It was called Day Something, and I remember that's how I discovered ASMR. She had a few get ready with me kind of videos and brushing her hair, and I loved them. I got over that. I didn't know ASMR was a thing, so I moved on. A few months later, I started looking for those videos for relaxing purposes, and it wasn't there anymore. She deleted the channel. I remember Day was the first, thing about her channel, or the name. First letters, I should say, because my youngest son nickname is Tay. So I know that it was something about that, and I searched it in many, many different ways. It wasn't there. Now recently she opened a channel, ASMR Investigation, and she said, I used to have a YouTube channel and the name was Day Something, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the channel that I used to watch. Isn't it funny how fate works? This was years ago. I don't even know how many years ago this was, but we just got reunited, and now she does ASMR Investigation, so I'm happy. I love her channel. You should check her out too. And finally, Lily Whispers. I have to be honest, I don't watch all of her videos, as I would watch every single video of Feeling Moon Warrior, ASMR Crime by Rennie, or ASMR Investigation. Those first three channels are the ones that I would watch any video that they would put up. Lily Whispers, I have my favorites from her channel, but I do love her channel. Now I had a question by Carrie Botic. I'm hoping I'm now saying it right, because I probably will never get it right again. And you're so sweet, Carrie. Thank you for your question. She says, I would love to know about being a teen mom and just about that time in your life. I was a teen mom as well, and continue to be that silly statistic too. I mentioned that my oldest son was graduating last week. I had him when I was 16 years old. He was born in September. I turned 17 in November. It's been an adventure, I have to say. It really has been. I don't want to say, my life as a teenager was probably harder than other teenagers, especially my friends. But I have to say that I didn't have it that bad. I got support from my mom. I decided as soon as I got married that I wanted to move in with my son's dad, who, by the way, today's my husband. We've been together since I was in the 7th grade. I know. I know. He was working already by the time that I got pregnant. He is 4 years older than me. But we decided to move in together, and I had him while we were living together. And, it wasn't like I was by myself or that I got pregnant and he left or anything. I think I was pretty lucky to have him by my side and being supportive and, starting our life together back then. I also had a lot of support of my now husband, grandma. She used to watch my baby while I went to school. The school was 4 blocks away from my house. No, it wasn't 4 blocks. It was more like 6. And she would watch him for 4 hours while I went to school. Back home, elementary, middle school, and high school, it's only 4 hours. It's a lot of work, okay? High school is no joke. Not everyone finish high school because it's hard. You don't get multiple choice. You write an essay about the book that I gave you, and you do it right. And it was hard to study, but since I was so young, I wouldn't mind staying up all night. If I had to stay up all night right now, being 35, I wouldn't do it. But back then, being 17, I could do that. I could stay up all night studying and then go to my finals in the morning. I wasn't really sleepy during the day. I was young. I could do that. I didn't want my husband's grandma to stay with my son more than that. I always wanted to study at night while he was sleeping with my son. While my son was sleeping, because I always wanted to be a mom. My goal in this life always been to be a mom. I always wanted to have 13 kids. Yeah, I know, crazy. I stopped at 4. I never told my husband that I wanted 13 kids. I'm sure he wouldn't want to be my boyfriend back then if he knew that I wanted 13 kids. But we stopped in number 4 because his delivery was kind of scary, and we thought that something really bad happened to my youngest son. Nothing happened, but it was scary, and we decided to stop at number 4. However, my teen mom process wasn't that bad. I had my mom that lived close by, and she worked all day, but she would love to come and spend the afternoon with us. We lived across the street. We had the beach, and I was born in a beach, small town. So we would just go to the beach and have him play while he was older with the sand while we were just there, and spending our afternoon together or evening together. When we moved to the States, though, that's when everything changed. He was 1.5 years, and I decided that I wanted to move. And they told me, you can leave him here while you go get set up for studying and everything. And I was like, no, it's my son. He's going wherever I'm going. So we jumped on a plane and we got here. That's when we started missing family. He, especially my little one, was missing family. Grandmas that spoiled him so much while they were with him. He missed the beach, being there in the afternoons, eating sand. But even though my husband and I, we had a lot of problems being teenagers, teen parents, I think that it was meant for me to be a teen mom. I think that I was ready to be a mom. With all my mistakes and everything that I did, I think I was ready. I always been kind of ahead of my time. Right now I'm thinking about when I retire. Right now I'm thinking about when my kids, have kids and get married, and one of them just finished high school. I mean, you know what I mean? I've always been looking ahead. So, as I know a lot of teen moms, especially right now, I know a lot of teen moms that have struggled so much with drugs, alcohol, the boys leaving them, and then not being able to work and go to school. And I don't think I had it that hard. I think that God put the right people in the right place for me, and He closed the right doors, but He opened the right ones as well to lead us where we are today. I am proud of my son. He might not be the next Albert Einstein, but he is one of the smartest kids I know. He is compassionate. He doesn't believe in buying expensive things. He believes in having a simple life, and that's what I believe now on my 35, being 35. So I'm pretty proud of him. I cannot say I had a hard life. I cannot say that. I always think that this is what I had to live. This is what my life was going to be about. And I've always tried to embrace it. Then Karina Guzman says, love your videos. Does your family know about your channel? If so, what do they think of it? My family do know about the channel. They don't get ASMR, just to make the short answer. They don't get ASMR, and they don't get true crime. They're not as interested as I am. As I mentioned before, if I'm going to be watching a show about ASMR, not ASMR, but investigation and things like that, they're not as interested as I am. So it's not like they watch or they care about the content or anything like that. I hope I answer your question. And Richard says, "Hey Anne, thank you so much. You're always there, leaving comments. How long have you been harnessing your true crime interest, storytelling ability?" And she also wants to know some of my passions. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be interesting. I'm sure you're never going to guess what my passions are. Okay, I think I answered that question a little bit. The first one, I've always been interested in true crime. I think since I was a teenager. I've always been interested in the people's minds since I was a little kid. I'm telling you about that incident with the tire. Maybe I was 8. Why? I had those very deep thoughts about why people reacted different. I have no idea. The storytelling ability thing is more like when I try to explain something, or when I'm trying to tell you something, I'm coming from a place where I'm trying to explain things as you didn't know anything about it. You are completely blank about what I'm about to tell you, so I'm trying to come from a background and explain from the beginning, which for some people is hard to explain it that way. So for me, it's not really hard to sit down here and talk to you or tell you in a story kind of way this case is. And since it's my passion and what I'm interested in, it really kind of plays well together with it. My passions. Okay, if I have to say one that I really, really am passionate about, is soccer. I will wake up early in the morning on a Saturday night to keep up with my favorite teams in Spain. I have to say that I like Real Madrid, but I think I like Real Madrid more because my husband likes Barca, and I always like to have a little competition with him and see who's gonna win. Talk trash about the other team, how they just don't know how to play, how they depend on Messi. If Messi's not there, they're not gonna win. And I think I enjoy more about that interaction that I have with my husband. And was that a foul? No, it wasn't. I am there. And if you see me in a soccer stadium, I will be the crazy lady yelling. Me. That's me. My kids all love soccer, so they're all involved in some kind of soccer thing. High school, middle school, they're always playing some kind of in a soccer kind of thing. So I refrain myself from screaming in the kids' games. Okay? Every once in a while in a high school game, I can get a little bit mad at the ref, but I try to refrain myself because I'm trying to be a good example for the kids. However, if you see me sitting in my couch, that's a different story. Another passion of mine is travel. I love to travel. Another question said something about my goals in life or bucket list kind of thing. I would love to go and backpack Europe. Yes, I know. I don't care about money. I don't care about possessions. I don't care about having a good car. I don't care about having the best house. We're actually getting ready to sell this house to move into a simple, smaller house in a very more in nature. That's what I'm gonna say. But that's what we've been working on the house and stuff like that. But I don't really care about money. So if I can have a house where I can go back after I'm back from every trip, that's great. Because I'll do my laundry. I'll, chill and watch Netflix and then go out to the next adventure. I love to travel. I don't want first class. I don't want, give me a bike. Give me whatever. Jump on a plane, get to an airport, and walk until we find somewhere where we can spend the night. That's what I want to do with my life when I get out of the rat race, which is what I'm trying to do right now in my life. That's my number one goal. So, and of course, another of my passions is just spend time with my family. I think that's the number one thing that I enjoy with in my life. It's spend time with my kids, watch a movie, go out to eat, sit down in the backyard and just make jokes, dumb jokes about, and I enjoy that. So I'm thinking that all my planning for backpacking Europe, it has more to do with the fact that I know my kids. I raised them to go wherever their hearts take them and understand that they're free to go wherever they want to, and that they never should think about, oh no, but my mom is here or there. I always raised them. I knew that God gave them to me so I could raise them, but they're not mine, and they're going to fulfill their destinies, and they might be in different places. I mean, one of my kids wants to move to Hawaii, plans to move there. Another one wants to live more of a busy life. They all have different likes and everything. So I think that my travel endeavors have a lot to do with an empty nest kind of thing when they grow up. I would love to go backpacking with them. That would be my goal, because that would give them so much, perspective, and so much. They would learn so much out of that. But if I cannot do it with them, then I'll do it with my husband. God willing, we're still here and we can do that. That's truly what my passion is. I love to travel. In the meantime, while my kids are young, I'm keeping it closer here in the States. I love the Pacific Northwest. I plan to visit the entire state of Washington soon. I'm planning my big road trip to Washington. I love Oregon. I love California. I love the West. I think I'm, probably next year, or not next year because we're doing all this stuff, but within the next 3 years, I'm hoping to move to the East Coast and get to know the East Coast a little bit better. That is a closer goal. But travel is another one of my passions. Empress of Loneliness asks, what is your favorite animal? She has another question, but my favorite animal are bears. I love all kinds of bears. I find them sweet. I find them, there is something when I look to the face of a grizzly bear it's just one of those places that I think that you can never get closer to a bear than in Alaska. Yeah, it's a little bit scary. Yes, I don't know if I would take my kids on a trail that is full of bears, but I would definitely do it myself and my husband. Definitely. I don't know if I'm not scared of them, but I have a deep connection with bears. Does that sound weird? Definitely sounds weird, but it's okay. It's true. I've always liked polar bears, and I don't even want to talk about what's going on with polar bears because it breaks my heart. I used to go to the zoo just to look at the polar bears. It's just one of my obsessions. I think that's why my dog's name is Bear. He looks like a white bear too. He's sweet. Anyways, do you think there will ever be peace on Earth? Why or why not? Well, that is Empress of Loneliness. That is a very deep question. My honest answer is I don't think so. But it's possible. Okay, it's weird. I'm gonna give you a quick answer to that. I believe that if we all work in each other, in each one of us, we can make things happen. What I mean by that is, if you want to make a change in this world, you should start with yourself. If the people would stop looking to the side and try to find somebody to blame for everything that's going on, then I think that would be the best way that we can look inside of us and say, hey, maybe I'm doing this wrong. I'm going to try to change what I can because I can only change myself. Will that solve every single problem in the world? I'm not sure. But I think that if every single human being in the entire world was honest to themselves and understand that they fail, that they have problems and that they need to fix them, instead of being worried about the rest of the world making mistakes that they're probably making those same mistakes themselves, I think we'll have a better world. I try to be the best person I can to myself, to my husband, to my kids, to my neighbors, to the people that I go to, to my kids' school. I try to be the best person. I try to be the best example. I try to be the best that I can for them. And I think that if each one of us would focus on that, then we'd become a better society, a better city, a better town, a better country, a better world. I don't think people is interested in understanding that they make mistakes. I think some people think that they can never do wrong, and that lack of humbleness, it's gonna make them not change the things that they are able to, which is themselves. The Whispers Games ask, you said you wanted to travel to Spain at some point. What countries have you been to? I've been to Brazil, Argentina, and of course, where I'm from, Uruguay. I'd love to go to Spain. My husband's family is from Spain, and I would love to. I would love to go to a classic Barca and Real Madrid game. That would be my dream come true. Take my kids with me too, because they would cry. They just wouldn't. I don't know how they would handle that emotion of being there, You have to like or love soccer to understand what that could feel like. And where would you travel if you could go anywhere? I mentioned already, short term, I'm gonna go to every single state of the United States. That's my goal right now. And get to know the places places. And let me tell you, I have an atlas. I don't do GPS, I do atlas. And I have circles all over different states of things that I want to see. I think that at one point it's going to become a big circle because there's so much to see in just here in America. Then I want to move to Canada and visit, not move, but move on to Canada. And that is short term. But if I could go and travel anywhere today, I had the money, and I could go anywhere today, I would go to Scotland. If I believe that I had a previous life, I believe that I lived there in one of those beautiful castles. I have a passion for those. I buy them in stickers. I get art, whatever that has. I've always loved Scotland, and I think that the accent helps a lot too. I love it. There's this actor, I can't remember the name. I think he was in Lost. I think he's from Scotland. He has a great accent. I always want to watch his shows. I think he wasn't he the same guy that was in Scandal? For a few episodes in season 1, I don't know. I love his accent. Scotland would be one of the places, but my goal, as I mentioned before, is to backpack Europe. ASAP. Okay. NSFRT asks, what goes into your research for these cases? Well, I think I mentioned that at the beginning. I usually go on Google, find different blogs and articles. Now I am the kind of pencil and paper kind of girl, so I would print everything. And once I have everything printed out, I will go with my highlighter, highlight the important parts of the case, and then create a timeline with everything that I found. If there is an interview or everything that's extra that's going to be after I did my basic research on the case. Now it does take a long time because it usually means that since I'm getting them from different sources, that some of the information overlaps, so it repeats, and I have to make sure that I get the one that have all the information, but I'm not repeating myself enough. That's basically how I do it. It does take a really long time, but once I start, I can't really get away from it. Now Rennie asks, she's the one that I mentioned from one of my favorite channels, ASMR Crime by Rennie. She asks, what kind of movies and TV shows do you like to watch? I have a big list. I am a Netflix fan, and I will do a video with my favorite show, especially crime related shows that I watch. Okay, but just to answer your question, Rennie, I like scary movies. I don't like bloody movies. If you are going to cut people's legs and arms and you are going to eat children, I'm not gonna do that. I remember I watched I don't even know what it was. We were on vacation. We were in a hotel room, and we were just relaxing before we went to Disneyland in the afternoon. We went in the morning. We came back, relaxed for a bit, and then one of my older kids was like, "Well, let's watch a scary movie while the little ones sleep." And they put a movie. I think it's called Clowns or something. Oh my gosh, it was so gross. They would show the bones of whatever. It was supposed to be the kids' bones or something. And every time I look at chicken bone right now, it makes me want to throw up. So, now, creepy, bloody, eating people kind of movies I don't like. But scary movies, the ones that are more like haunted houses. I don't like The Exorcist, even though I'm doing the research on that to share with you the true story. I don't like The Exorcist. I could never watch the movie. I might for the research for that video, but I don't like that kind. I like the one girl that she was blind. I don't know if you watch it. Hush, I think it's called. You know, that kind of creepy. I watched The Strangers, which my kids say that it's the stupidest movie ever, about people getting into a house with masks, and I like other kind of scary movies. Okay, let me think about a scary movie that I like, that it's a little bit... Okay, I always like the classics. I like Halloween, I like Freddy Krueger. I grew up watching those movies. What else do I like? I don't know, but you get an idea of the kind of scary movie that I like. What show scares me the most? On Netflix, it's Criminal Minds and Dexter. I will get into Criminal Minds. I will. That's a goal I have in my mind because I think I'm going to learn a lot from it. But it scares me. No, it doesn't scare me. What it does is makes me a little bit too aware of things that are going on around me. So if I see a van that it looks in a specific way that I watched in that show the night before, I will run away from that van. It kind of creeps me out, and it makes me a little bit too alert, and I don't like to live my life that way. That's why I can't do Criminal Minds that much. But I will get into it because I think that you learn a lot. Some other things that I like to watch. Okay, well, I'm gonna do that Netflix special, but I like Bates Motel from start to finish. It's not creepy, it's not about killing people, it's not really about the psycho movie. It's more about the struggles that the guy had and how he killed people, but it's not really graphic, that's what I should say. I also got into American Horror Stories. Season 1 was really good. I really did like it. The Asylum, I think it was season 2. It was kind of confusing, but I did like it. I like the actor. You know, in season 1, I think his name was... Oh gosh. Tate. I don't remember, but I like how he acts. I like every single role that he does. He's a really good actor. So I've been a little bit all over the place with American Horror Stories. However, sometimes I skip a season because it's too bloody for me. I'm in that witches one, and I don't know what to think of it. Some seasons are good, some other ones are not so good. If you want to get into it, if you can get through the first 3 episodes of season 1, which is a little bit weird, then you will like it because it's more about a haunted mansion and the story behind it, who died there, why happens everything that happens. It has a little bit of a reference to the Black Dahlia, and well, anyways, I'm into American Horror Stories. Bates Motel, I already finished that one, and no, not that one, but what else? Oh, another one that I do like, and I'm still watching, and I'm hoping that they're still making things, is Law and Order, but it's the Special Victims Unit. And okay, I want to watch these shows because, again, they interest me, but I also learn a lot from them. I think Law and Order taught me a lot of the legal stuff all behind an investigation. The Special Victims Unit, it's more about raping and, sexual things, but it shows you that you can have a suspect, but unless you have proof, there is a very long process that the police have to do in order to get a warrant for your arrest. They have to have more than enough evidence to make an arrest, and while you are arrested, then make up a case. Law and Order, the Special Victims Unit, shows you how the legal system works here in the US, and you will understand more about the legal part of the cases that I share in the true crime cases. I have a long list of other shows that I do like, but I'm gonna leave that for that video where I want to share with you a little bit about my favorite crime series and movies and shows and stuff like that. Okay. Demi TT, where are you from? I am from Uruguay. It's a small country in between Argentina and Brazil, and there's only 3.5 million people in the entire country. What made you start a YouTube ASMR channel? Well, it's just that I've been interested in true crime since forever. I contemplated the idea of opening a regular channel with these true crime cases, but since I'm always interested in ASMR too, I decided to combine them both. After I saw that Lily started that trend, I saw how much hate she got she got from people, but I just didn't care. I thought to myself, well, if they don't like it, they are not gonna watch it, and that's it. And that's basically how I started. Christine Ramirez asked, what is your name? Well, my name is Leticia, but everyone calls me Elle. Did your mom ever found out about what happened? She's talking about my true crime experience. As I mentioned in the video, she did, but she didn't believe it back then, and I never wanted to talk about it again. Will you ever consider a video in Spanish? Yeah, I don't mind doing it in Spanish. I don't know how much people or how many people is interested in watching a true crime case in Spanish. I don't know. I don't think it's that big, the interest in the Spanish-speaking community, as it is in the English one, and you can tell that by looking up, let's say, Discovery ID in Spanish, and then in English, the same case, you will see that it's more interested people that speak English than speak Spanish, but I would consider it. If you guys want to, just let me know, and I can do that. I don't know if I'd ever create a playlist or something like that in Spanish. I mean, unless I had a lot of requests and you guys really want to see it, but I would consider it. I don't mind. I mean, it's my first language. It should be easy. Okay, last few questions. Susie, I think it's Susie S, asked, if I cross paths with you today, how would I know it's you? Ah, funny. I'll be smiling. I'm smiling most of the time. I don't know. That's who I am. I feel like when you smile, you can brighten up somebody's day, or you can make it less stressful for them. I like to go to when I go to the store and there's this cashier that looks the grumpiest, I would love to go through that, cash register, not to bother them, but to smile at them and just ask them, how are you? How's your day? Was it, sometimes all we need is somebody to care. I remember last time I went to the movies, we went and, what was it? We were watching Jumanji. We were there and there was this kid, and I have a spot side for kids, teenagers that are working. I have teenager kids, so for me they're kids. They're teenagers, but for me they're little kids. So I went and I asked him for some popcorn, and the guy that was before me was really rude to the kid, and I'm sure that, he got nervous and he was making even more mistakes. So when I got to him, I look at him in the eyes and say, hey, how are you? No, he said to me first, hello, how are you? Well, how can I help you? So instead of saying, oh, let me get some popcorn, I said, hello, how are you today? And he felt like, okay, she stopped because she's listening. She cares that, if what I'm going to say, she's actually expecting. She's not trying to be polite. She's actually waiting for me to reply. How was my day? And I remember seeing the biggest smile in this kid's face, and I don't know. Call me silly, but I think in life we need more kindness and we need more love, and we need to care for each other a little bit more than what we care about each other today. So sometimes a smile will make a difference in somebody. maybe while you're driving in the freeway. I'm not looking at people and smiling, but I'm smiling myself because I'm laughing at something that I'm hearing on the radio or something. And then people look at you like, okay, you're a weirdo, but you kind of get a smile out of them too. Weird, I know. Susie has also asked, what is my favorite quote? And that is, what others think of me is really none of my business. And Roosevelt. It's none of my business. It's fine. I am who I am, and I love myself enough to understand that there's gonna be points that they're not gonna understand me. They're not gonna like me, and that's okay, because they're entitled to do that. But I'm entitled to not care what they think of me, and that is none of my business. And that's how I try to live my life. Okay, three more questions from Susie S. Who is the first person you call when you have exciting news or bad news? My husband, definitely. He's my best friend, and I can tell him pretty much anything in the world, and I know that he will always be there for me. I don't have close friends that I would call to tell good news or bad news. I think we have that little support system with each other that we know we are the first people that need to call. It's just us. What is my star sign? I'm a Scorpio. Yeah. And I feel like Scorpios, they have such a bad rap. We do, don't we? But I think there's a lot more good things about a Scorpio than bad things about them. And I think that you are inclined because you could be inclined because of your star sign, but truth be told, you can manage around it, and you can try to use the things for good and not for jealousy or that kind of thing that Scorpios are known for. I don't know, they're very well known for being jealous. I was when I was younger, but not anymore. I realized that I'm good enough, and if other people don't see it or don't care for it, then we're not meant to be friends or to be together, and that's pretty much it. And that is the confidence that I have. So, yeah, Scorpio. And yeah, this last question, top of your bucket list, is, again, as I said before, backpack Europe and Scotland. I'm gonna start my backpacking here in the States, but bucket list, I want to do those things. I want to do so much things. I have so many things in my bucket list that it's getting very, very, very long. As probably this video is, but I can't look at my computer because it's in the back. Okay, it's 54 minutes. It's not even the longest video ever, but it's going to take forever to upload. Anyways, thank you so much for all the questions. I hope you got to know me a little bit better, and you don't think that I'm weird or anything like that. It's okay if you do. Remember that what other things think of me, it's really none of my business. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now I'm going to ask you a question. If you're still here, where are you watching from? I would love to know the country or the state that you're watching this video from, if you're still awake. Thanks again. I'll see